Well, hello there. The troublesome prince is back. The prodigal son returns. Prince Harry is in London. Let's find out more by speaking to Talk's brilliant royal correspondent, Rupert Bell. Hello there, Rupert. He's back.
Yes, he's back. He always comes back at this time, mainly because of the Well Child awards that he was at last night. And of course, it coincides with the anniversary of the death of his grandmother. So there's a lot sort of emotion around this particular visit. But of course, he's now back. It feels like a bit of a quasi-royal tour because not only was he doing his thing yesterday, he's then going up to Nottingham and he's doing various engagements, I think, tomorrow, maybe around the Invictus Games, which, of course, come back to this country in Birmingham. So it is a little bit of a royal tour. There's obviously speculation that he might meet his father, who is rumoured to be flying back to London tomorrow, so maybe they can engineer some sort of meeting. And obviously he's talking about, as he mentioned last night, his issues with his brother in a throwaway comment. So it feels a bit like there's a PR battle going on between the two brothers because they both are out on the road and seeing, and William was with his wife yesterday, and William's going to be in southwest East London, I think, today. So there's quite a PR lot of stuff going on at the moment. I don't know whether on purpose but from William's point of view, but definitely from Harry's point of view, he's trying to create some sort of feel-good factor and that he's not the bête noire that most of the British public seem to paint him as being.
Where's the king flying back from? He's been in Scotland.
Yeah, he's in Scotland as he would normally be, and he's obviously going to be coming back. There's a state visit coming around with President Trump coming, but he is in Scotland. And I think he's due to be in Scotland mainly for the rest of the month, which is part of the sort of tradition of being up there. And actually, on the anniversary of his mother's death, it is quite traditional. His mother was always in Sandringham during the time of her father's death in February. So it's something that I think that as a bit of a tradition to be where they were, and obviously his mother was up in Scotland at the time. So it is traditional for the royal family to spend most of August and part of September up in Scotland. So that's where he is. But I think he's also flying back at times to continue his cancer treatment.
I don't understand. I mean, it seems to me, from the outside looking in, and I'm not much of a royal watcher, is why Charles doesn't just grab his two boys and go, I'm the king, you both have to sit in the same room at the same time and sort this out. But it seems to me what happens is it's sort of the royal households via all of their apparatchiks just communicate with each other and they don't actually talk to one another as humans.
Well, that might, on the face of it, seem a sensible suggestion, but there's a complete breakdown of trust with Harry from William's perspective, because any time he said anything, he's gone and spilled the beans, and whether it be in a Netflix documentary or in Spare, and William just feels that his brother's let the side down, and until he shows a degree of contrition, William is not remotely interested, although Harry seems to think he's completely innocent in all this and that his grievances are real. Now, of course, there's probably somewhere in the middle there is some common ground, but at the moment, between the brothers, don't hold your horses on a rapprochement. But I'm sure the king would dearly love to see a happy family, and maybe the starting point has to be for Harry to rekindle his relationship with father and build up some trust there, because what he doesn't want to see is every time he goes to see his father, next minute Harry's bleating to some favoured outlet about what's going on. And that's part of the problem from the royal family's perspective. They don't trust Harry, and they certainly don't trust his wife.
But he can't help himself, can he? I mean, why on earth? He goes to these awards and he's speaking to critically ill youngsters just ahead of the glittering ceremony. And he's speaking to one particular youngster, 17. And when Harry learned he had a younger brother, like you said, alluded to, made a comment, oh, does he drive you mad? And the kid replies, no, we get on fine. And then he found out that they went to the same school, said, well, that sometimes makes it more it's like, Harry, can you give it a rest? It's like he's obsessed with this conflict with his brother, rather than just see it as an opportunity to look good, go about, glad people and, look kindly in front of the kids, he has to get some little dig in there. He has to have that sense that, oh, people know how horrible my brother's been to me. People know how hard a time I've had. I'm always a victim. Isn't life so unfortunate? Can't he just put a sock in it for a second?
Well, that's what I'm saying. He can't. And then he puts in a throwaway line, but he's trying to make it seem siblings or whatever he said to these to this person yesterday. You know what he's getting at, but unfortunately, at times he doesn't read the room. He would be best to say, "Look, make the child the centre of attention." Well, what it's done is deflected and immediately drawn attention back to the situation between him and his elder brother. So it's all rather sad. It's tragic, really, in a sense that wish these two would be able to get together, because the royal family, when he was around, needed him, and he's good at this stuff in the main. And you can see that people seem quite pleased to see him yesterday. When he's on his own, doing what he used to do pretty well. Unfortunately, when he goes back to the California, he's a shadow of his former self. So maybe he's finding these 4 days a bit of light relief. But again, it does throw into spotlight, as we knew it would, the relationship with the rest of the family.
Now, you pointed out, of course, it is the state visit of Donald Trump next week. A big occasion indeed. Politically, what we know is Donald Trump isn't going to be invited to address the UK Parliament because they're not there. It's conference season, and I have a feeling that the timing of this was done quite deliberately to avoid any embarrassment of Labour backbenchers booing, hissing, jeering for, doing some sort of process which would just be really shameful. But he is going to get the full sort of glittering carriage treatment, isn't he, up and down the Mall?
Yeah, but he loves all that. That's his in his DNA, and that's why he does like the British pomp and circumstance, and we do it well. And it plays right into his hands. It is interesting from a sort of, the royal family are used here. This is an example of the soft politics. You saw Keir Starmer when he went with his envelope, here it is, here's a letter from the king. Oh, look at me, sort of handing, it seemed an unprecedented way to ask for a state visit. But of course, when you're dealing with President Trump, you have to do things slightly, the book is not there, the old book, it has to be ripped up. But he will be coming here. It is interesting that, from a Labour perspective, the sort of bigwigs are now humbly, they're almost prostrating themselves in front of him to seem that they are now the great Trump supporters, because they know they've got to keep him on side, because if you upset him, they never know what's going to happen. So at the moment, because he loves the royal family, Britain does have a trump card, to use the phrase, in terms of being able to keep him on side, because he is a royalist through and through.
It's fascinating stuff. Do we have any idea of what the agenda's going to look like?
I don't know, but I think it's, as you say, there's no parliamentary visit, but there's things going on at Windsor. The King and will be out in force. I'm sure there'll be a state dinner as well. So there will be plenty. And obviously, behind the scenes, we're hearing there will be some announcements. And of course, it will be designed to make, that President Trump is a good man and he's bringing trade to this country and all sorts of things. So I am sure there will be announcements that will be used to the advantage not only of Trump, but also of our current government.
Oh, do you know, I'm really looking forward to it. I've got a load of American mates coming over for it, and they're so excited, especially on the right wing of America. They love the royal family, and I think it's going to be a spectacular occasion. I can't wait. Rupert, thank you ever so much. Great to catch up with you.